posted. I'm posting on all of them Discords. Stern. Oh boy.
Uh-oh, we got no boy.
Oh, I could hear the music for a second. I love it. I'm putting it back on. I don't even care if I keep the double voice.
It's
Oh no, it's gone.
I'm sorry. I'm working on some things here. Hold on.
Oh boy. All right, you just found the Master Sword.
Yep.
Oh, that song. Is that the Wii U shop music?
No, I got it from my license subscription.
It sounds like you're perusing the Wii U shop. I had to mute the stream. There's too many Charlies and Mitches talking. All right, Discord promotion is out.
Yeah, I literally just typed in, hey, game show, and it's called Under the Marquee by Guy Trevino and Friends.
I have a feeling we'll hear that later, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, I got all my promos out, so
all right,
people know. Now you know.
And knowing
I'm dropping
is half
the phone.
the battle. We're not sponsored by Hasbro. Sorry.
We are absolutely
Hasbro
not.
or Mattel? It's Hasbro,
That's Hasbro.
right?
That's Hasbro. Mattel is like He-Man, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's kick this sucker off.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Blast off time.
Let's do it, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MC Gamescast. It is January 19th, 2021. You're listening to a couple of guys who are going to talk some video games, some life, some loves, and some laughs. I'm one of your hosts, Charlie Zarzuela, and the other guy who's right next to me, this guy right here. Let's see if I can point that the right way. Yeah, that makes sense. It's Mitchell Barrett. What's up,
That's
Mitchell?
me.
How you
That's
doing,
me.
buddy?
Yes, that's me. I'm here. We are already more than halfway through this month, which is a little concerning, but we're here. Video games are happening, whatever that means,
They're
and I'm glad to be here.
They are definitely happening, my friend, and yep, that's what we do here. We talk about video games, we talk about fun stuff, we just gab on about a bit. We're going to be here with you for the next couple of hours, hopefully not 3 hours, because that means we'll be into the next day on Wednesday, January 20th. Oh, yeah, please no. But before we go into that, man, how was your weekend? I've got a question before kind of leading into how was your weekend?
Yeah.
Steak and air fryers.
Yes.
What conjured that particular course of action, 1, and 2, were you a little worried at first?
So I purchased an air fryer. They was on sale. I've been wanting to get one for a while. Just another. I kind of have a slight obsession with kitchen appliances, which is
Don't we all?
Weird. Yeah. It seems like a weird statement, but I guess it's not. But I've been wanting to get one for a while. Like, I have a deep fryer, but I've kind of gotten tired of the mess and just the upkeep of trying to keep that thing clean. So I bought an air fryer. Well, once I got it, I decided that I needed to figure out everything that you can make in an air fryer, and it turns out it's pretty much everything, which included.
It's a great thing, man.
Oh God, it's fantastic. Which included the aforementioned steak. I bought a nice Nolan Ryan New York strip steak, and yeah, like the baseball player. He has beef. thanks to Kroger. And so I bought a steak. Did a nice little marinade, put a nice little beef rub on it, and threw it in that air fryer.
Rub.
And it made a really fucking good steak. It's not the best way to cook it. I think the sous vide is the best way. The nice sous vide with a nice searing afterwards, and then a nice smoked steak is great. But it's very good. I enjoyed it very much today. I made myself a homemade Philly cheesesteak, and I'm feeling great. And food is fantastic. And to be honest, that's kind of really all I did this weekend. I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. It was nice. I finished up cleaning up the yard with the leaves from the fall and the winter, and that's about it.
Getting ready for summer already, huh?
Yeah, well, I haven't even gone in the backyard. I don't want to go in the backyard. The backyard's bad. But anyway, that's my weekend. What about you, buddy?
Did you put away Christmas?
Christmas has been put away. I put the final touches on getting Christmas put away. I've been procrastinating putting the tree up because I had the idea of, for the first time in like 3 years, actually taking everything off the tree and putting it away instead of just putting the whole thing in the garage to where I don't have to do anything next season.
Okay.
But in the end, I got lazy. Yeah. But in the end, I got lazy and just threw the whole thing in there. So basically, there's a put together Christmas tree with lights and ornaments sitting in my garage where it will stay for the next 11 months. But yeah, watched football, of course, a little bit. Probably not as much as you did, but yeah, that's about it. What about you?
Yeah, I will say I did plenty of that. In fact, I just updated the episode 24. We've done 24 of these things, 24 of the MC Gamescast shows.
The Jack Bauer episode.
We won't count Game of the Year nor the episode 0. But bringing it back to sports. This is the first weekend I wanted to say that, it felt like a real, normal sports weekend. Last weekend, you could say that it was kind of like that, but still it was a brand new experience with having 6 playoff games all wrapped into, 18 hours worth of football watching, which it's intense and long. And, it's a brand new playoff scheme. If people who are watching the show or listening to the podcast don't know, the NFL has redone their format to now include 7 teams per conference. Not that you would care anyway, but it's made for, an intriguing, new spice to the postseason. That set aside, this weekend was the first weekend that it felt like real, normalcy, if what you will. So enjoyed a lot of that. The reason I asked about Christmas, I kind of mentioned in my my stream the other night that so I put up Christmas, or I didn't put up Christmas. My wife put up Christmas. She's a trooper. She's a soldier. She put up Christmas, and literally we've been living in a house that looked like it just got moved in for a week. Boxes strewn everywhere.
Oh, boy.
We had, hallways just pretty much lined up with bins and crates. It's just one of those things where, you have to have the want to. And we really didn't want to have to go put that up in the attic. And it's kind of stupid because when it was all said and done, it literally took 10 minutes to do.
Well, of course it did.
But we were, she was so tired and exhausted from the long weekend that we had prior to. And, clothes was a beating, for everybody. So it seemed like we were just all drained from the holiday season. And we finally got that up on Saturday and such. To those listening, again, happy belated Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yes, sir.
I hope you and yours had a safe one out there. We celebrated the 3-day weekend just kind of taking care of our little one. God bless. He has all the energy in the world, and it's kind of it's sad, it seems like every week I talk about how much energy this kid has, but I don't sell it short when I say that he has all the energy in the world. I ran him around the backyard several times. I'm starting to give him like little tips and tricks for soccer because we enrolled him in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a big kick. He does what he wants to do, and then we run around for a while, and he's the I don't want to say prototypical 4.5-year-old because I don't know, but he'll run and then for just no reason just stumble onto the ground laughing because it's hilarious to fall on your face and then get right back up and just start running again. So that's pretty much what I did over the weekend. It was a good weekend. I was really busy this weekend, not just with sports, but with video games, and that's what we are here to talk about. Sir Mitchell, my buddy, Team Llama Squad on Twitch.tv. What have you been playing, sir?
So before we get into that, Charlie, there's something I would like to show the people watching either live or on the VOD.
I'm so dumb. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I should have done it with mine. I want to show this. I'm gonna step back, and I'm gonna stand up a little bit. Hopefully this plays. I'm wearing a new shirt there, Charlie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but this is the logo of this said podcast. Charlie, tomorrow on your desk at work, there will be a brand new black hoodie of the same type. And so the MC Gamescast merch is here. We've got some t-shirts. We've got a couple other things coming in the pipeline, kind of little dumb things like coffee mugs and stuff like that. And so down below on the VOD, and Charlie, if you would, when we put up the audio, we're going to put a link to the merch. And if you want to, if you would like to own one of those delicious MC Gamescast shirts, we would very much appreciate it. Just to let everybody know, we have priced the shirts to where we're not making much off of this. We kind of just want people to have them. So we've made the profit. We've made the profit margins very, very, very low. So just wanted to get that out of the way. It's cool. I think it turned out very good. The logo is fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Charlie, for the design, and of course thanks to Diana who produced the final product, and it looked great. The proceeds go to us. But getting to video games, I didn't play anything new this week. Played Rocket League because that's what I do. But also I continued my playthrough of Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch. I cannot tell you guys how much I am enjoying playing this game again. The game is just so stunningly beautiful. It's such a good time to be back in that world and playing that. I'm having such a great time doing it. It's really the first kind of game series that I've been playing on my Twitch that I've really been into, because I started trying to do Super Mario World, and it just I like that game a lot, but playing it on stream, it just didn't quite do it for me. But this is really doing it. If I'm having a good time, the people that are watching are having a really good time for it, watching it. So it's been such a great time doing it. I've been doing it once a week. I may try to do it twice a week now, definitely on either Friday or Saturday, and then another time during the week. But that's really it. I think I'm gonna play something new this week. Not brand new release, but something I haven't played before that we will get into next week.
Ooh.
But that's all. That right? Yeah. That's all I've got.
I'm excited.
Charlie, what's up with you?
Well, I can tell you this: I hate behemoths, and I hate.
I know you do, little buddy.
Those listening and watching the stream, go to Charizard81 at twitch.tv, and you will see me going step by step sailing my way through Fallout 4 on my PC. It's a fun game. I'm still enjoying that quite a bit. It's so funny to, like, regardless of who I'm streaming to, like, to be chatting one-on-one with a person who has either experienced the same areas or two has experienced something that I haven't experienced. And you can see even in, like, when they're typing in, when you're typing in, it's like, oh, this part, or like, oh my gosh, or like, oh, I'm hating all of this because I sure am. And or three, that I've experienced, several things, because I'm retracing my steps back through this game again just to refresh. I played this game a long time ago in 2015, and then my wife and I got pregnant, and I stopped playing the game. Lord knows how far I was along that game. I'm not even too sure. Like, I don't want to look into my campaign progress to see how much further I have to go, because I don't want to spoil myself for the remainder of this game. But even rehashing in the steps that are that already have a worn path through them, it's still, if everything still feels new. Like, it's kind of fun that I'm playing a game, even though it is like going on 6 years old now. This year, 6 years old. Golly, 2015 was 6 years ago. Anyway,
Unbelievable.
To play a game that's that old, but it feels so fresh to me, even though, like, there are arguments that there's some systemic aging that is very apparent in that game. The dynamics that Bethesda have put into it, you can tell, are from previous games, even though it's a quote-unquote newer game. We discussed this a little bit on the chat. But no, I'm having a lot of fun playing that game. So yeah, Fallout 4 on the PC.
I'm
sure.
sorry. Can I say something about?
You got anything on that? Yeah, sure.
I just want to say something about Fallout 4. Yeah, I have been very upfront with my feelings on that game personally. I will say this: watching you play it, there is a part of me that wants to try again with that game, and a lot of it came with your last stream last night, where you got to the fort where you're at, where you're about to start.
Kellogg's Fort.
Yeah, and just remembering the moments that happened in that specific area.
Mm-hmm.
And we other websites have talked about kind of best moments in games and of the years and everything like that. Like, just thinking about that specifically, really, there's a part of me that wants to try to push through, because I love Fallout 3. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Fallout New Vegas, which we'll talk actually a little bit about in the news, is such an incredible game too, and I wanted to love it. It just, I love watching you play it, and it really does make me want to go back and try it again.
Yeah, man. I mean, you and several other people who have jumped on my streams, like, they're quote unquote getting the itch to dive back into the wasteland, which is kind of cool. Yeah, like there's no bones about it that this game has its faults, but it's just, there's nitpicking to it, sure. But as a whole, this piece of art and entertainment I frankly find it, up there with amongst the greats. Even though that there's obviously some very, very egregious fallacies that are underneath it.
Right, and for me, it's less about what the game is doing, whether it's how it looks or how it plays or the story. It's not even about that for me and the disappointment. I think it's really, a lot of it is just kind of the burnout of playing Fallout so much before it, and it not. I think one of the problems is that it doesn't do quite enough to bring the series forward. But it's still like as a whole, the game, it's a very good game. It's just I like I said, I want to give it another shot.
Well, yeah. So that's Fallout 4. I'm still diving in on my brand new Switch that I got that my wife got for her birthday. She's played it. I promise. I'm still testing out the specs of it. I want to see.
Did you also get her a bowling ball?
It said Homer on the side of it.
Right. That's a Simpsons reference.
No, so I mean we play those games together, but she's knee deep in this farming, match 3, and it turns into a big tree, and then match 4 more, and it turns into like a bigger tree, and then it turns into a house. I don't know. Mobile games they're getting wacky.
I love how you describe that.
I mean, that's what it is. It's so ridiculous. I'm going to segue a little bit on this because, there is something to be said about mobile games and how they placate to, the people who are at home or they're not, at a desk at work and stuff like that. And they have a decent amount of leisure time. That's not to say that my wife doesn't work hard. She's working at home right now, and she works very hard. She's an extremely hard worker. But, there are times, as every person does, it seems like nowadays they like to dual cast, and you're watching TV but you're still playing a game on your phone, or you're watching a big screen while doing something on a little screen. That's basically dual casting.
Sure.
I never thought that I would get caught up in that, but I have. I mean, that's just how everyone does everything nowadays. It's crazy. I'm playing, not Kefling's Marvel Puzzle Quest or Marvel Strike Force while, WandaVision is on TV. But anyway, so back to the Switch. I'm still liking I want to field you a question about the library of the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo. What would you call that? I guess it's just a library of games.
Just the Super Nintendo. And
it gets bigger, right? Please tell me it gets bigger.
So the NES started off with 15 to 20 games, and they had a pretty good period of time where every month they were adding 2 to 3, and it's very much slowed down. Now the Super Nintendo side has come slower. I agree with you. I think especially the Super Nintendo side has been very disappointing in terms of the games that have been added in terms of quality and quantity. I feel like on the Super Nintendo side, there have been months where there have been multiple months in a row where nothing would show up, and then there would be stuff that show and this is a personal problem. Stuff will show up that you're just not interested in.
Yeah.
It's hard because you're getting games as part of a service. See Game Pass, see PlayStation Now. So it's very hard to be well, they should give me the games that I want. Why won't they give me Chrono Trigger?
Damn right.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Nick. All 3 Donkey Kong countries are on there.
Spoilers,
but yeah,
man?
I'm sorry. But yeah, they could be adding more stuff to that. Look, Nintendo's always had a problem with their online services. They have been extremely far behind in getting their act together ever since the original Wii, and it's not changed since the Wii U, and it's not changed now. And look, we don't have time to get into that.
I know,
but yeah, I mean, look, there's some bangers on there, including the one on your list here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is disappointing that the quantity and quality is still not there.
So yeah, what I'm trying to segue to on the Switch that I've been playing was Super Punch-Out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the Super Nintendo library on the Switch. And God, I played this game a long time ago. So, quick aside, I never really played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That was just a game that never found its way into my library. And whenever I looked for it at the Blockbuster back in the day, or the Family Video, rest in peace, it was always checked out. And so when I got the SNES, you know, Super Punch Out was not as demanded, I guess. It's a great game. Like it's up-resed from everything that the original Mike Tyson's Punch Out was. You can tell it's a Super Nintendo game. It's got that Super Nintendo look.
Yeah.
Very, very colorful, great sound, great graphics. Over the top enemy structure. It still brought over some of the classics. You know, Bald Bull is in there. King Hippo's not in that thing. Yeah, they replaced it with another guy. Mr. Sandman's in it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, no, I played a little bit of this. Gosh, I want to say it was during the first set of games on Saturday, and it literally took me 2 seconds to get back into the flow of those games. Like,
isn't it amazing how quickly it takes?
Yeah, it is literal muscle memory. If you know how to ride a bike, you will just get right back on the saddle and just go. And that's what it felt like with this game. You play a lot of this game?
Yeah, I actually played a lot more of this game than I did the original Punch Out. I was actually gonna ask you which one you ended up liking more. Do you like Super or the original more?
I'd have to lean Super just because, like I said, my exposure to the other one was literally watching friends play it, or like friends' older brothers play it, or watching it via YouTube or anything like that. You know, I've seen Mike Tyson run several times in a row.
Right.
But actually playing it, would have to be a Super Punch Out.
Yeah, well, and I feel like at the age that we were when Mike Tyson's Punch Out was out, that game was, after about the first 2 or 3 fights, it was too difficult for us. Yeah. And so we never really got that far into it. Once we got to Super Punch Out, we were a little bit older, and I never beat Super Punch Out, but I know I got way further in it than I did the original Punch Out.
Okay. How far did you get?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's see.
Giving you a chance to remember, I literally cannot get past Mr. Sandman. I don't know what it is.
It might be Mr. Sandman.
He has this weird, delayed, because, every boxer is based on, like, a sort of pattern. And he throws these random delays in there that if you don't catch at the right time, you're screwed. And so, it's not like I just constantly, lost to him and then, okay, let's do this again. Once I kind of got to him, I got my, my thirst for playing Super Punch Out quenched a little bit. I didn't play for long. I played for, maybe an hour or so. And that's the fun thing about that game, is that you can play it for an hour. If you beat it, you beat it. Like, honestly, it doesn't take that long to beat that game. There's only 4 circuits, I think.
I think so. And then there's 4 boxers per circuit.
Yeah. And so literally, you can get past the first circuit, 5 minutes. No, nothing.
Which circuit had the Asian guy that would jump on the turnbuckles and kick you in the face?
That's the second one.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with that guy. I don't remember his name. It's been so long since I've played that. Did you ever play the Wii version?
I tried.
I didn't like it.
It was an interesting, this is how you can use Wiimotes to box.
Yeah.
And
it worked fine. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would put to that. It worked fine. The in theory it looked great. In execution, it just didn't cut the mustard. So that was Super Punch Out. I also dove into, speaking of which from earlier, I wanted to take a peek at Donkey Kong Country 3 because, as you know, I have put Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 in VODs on my channel, beat both of them, and to be honest, I have not really scratched the surface of Donkey Kong Country 3 ever. Because that thing came out, it was literally at the end of the Super NES lifespan. It was at the butt end of it. and I think I'd moved on to like Mortal Kombat 3 at the time, and PlayStation games had like started to come out, and just I'd grown up, and especially the fact that marketing the game was Dixie, which I like Dixie a lot. Like I played her with her more in Donkey Kong Country 2 than I did with Diddy, but the baby, I was like, okay, this is a baby game. I can't get into it. And even when I played this game a little bit over the weekend, you could tell that they had taken the Donkey Kong Country, at least for the SNES, like, in later iterations of Donkey Kong Country Freeze, and such, the greatness of Donkey Kong Country 64. They took the SNES Donkey Kong Country ideas, and they pretty much took that wet, soaked towel, and they wrung it out about as dry as they could. And you could tell like that their ideas and like even the character design, like the minions weren't that appealing. You fought a barrel for the first boss. Like you would throw bugs in the barrel's mouth and force the barrel to gag on it, I guess, like because barrels do that. And they would back up. It would back up, several things, and then fall into a quote unquote hole. And that was the boss fight. I was like, that's kind of dumb. It's not very endearing. Did you ever play Donkey Kong Country 3? Like,
no.
Yeah.
No.
You saved a lot of time not doing that. Like, I wish I got that hour back. But
so what you're saying is you're probably not going to play that on stream?
No, and I see what they're trying to do. Like, Dixie has become now the replacement for Diddy, and then Baby Kong is now the new Donkey Kong. He's like the heavy hitter. They're the vector in which they throw, Baby is more of an arc, where Dixie is more of a straight straight shot. And their roles are different. It's not like you could just tell that this if this were a movie, this would be one of those movies that went straight to video.
Oh no.
Yeah, like that's just my humble opinion on it. I'm sure there are people that worked really, really hard on this game, but no, this game is not for. I mean, even like the staunchest Donkey Kong fans. I don't.
So Sturm.
Yeah, Sturm. I mean, I would love to hear what Sturm would have to say in regards to this game. I just didn't like it. So yeah, I played Donkey Kong Country 3, and then I have gotten back into Cyberpunk 2077. And I have to say this, I got to the 10-hour mark of that game, and this is how slow I'm snailing my way through that game as I do with other open world games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inching my way through that game, and not to give any spoilers or anything like that, but I got to the title screen.
I've heard that it has a very, very late title screen.
I got to this huge CG part. It's all like cinematics, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like the story's really, really starting to I think it takes off from here. And then I saw the title screen. I'm like, wait, they never showed this before. Nah, they showed this before. I literally went through that path of emotions. Like, wait a minute. Wait, this is the title screen?
One of the latest title screens ever.
And so I'm like, I exited out because I was done. Like, during the time that it was warming up to get to the title screen, it's always one of those situations where you're like, hey, turn off the video games. It's time to come and rejoin the family, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, hold on. It's like you're trying to get to a save point. You just can't do it like in today's modern games. And so it's that 1 minute took, it seemed like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I just feel my family getting like more upset. I'm like, where's daddy? Where's daddy? And then the title screen pops up and I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that's what I played over the weekend. I had a really, really, really busy weekend, especially after close. I was just like, let's veg out and have some video game fun. And folks, yes, that is what we have been playing over the weekend. But you know what? There's a couple of things that came up, and we have to tell you about that here in the news section. Do you like that segue?
It was a good one. Professional.
Yeah, man. And like I said, it's January. There's not much news that comes out, but when there is news that comes out, it could be important. And to fill you with some of the first important stuff, Mitchell Barron here is going to tell you a little about some stuff.
Man, used my full name. Charlie, as is per usual, it seems, with this podcast, we had some shit break like 12 hours after we did last week's podcast. Starting with Ubisoft, makers of such games as Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and Watch Dogs. One of their studios, massive studios, they surprised the internet by announcing they're making an open world Star Wars video game. And you might be thinking, and I thought the same thing at the time, and I know everybody that's kind of knows the industry, but EA, Electronic Arts, has exclusivity to Star Wars, right? Well, it seems that exclusive agreement is going to end in 2023. That's when the contract was supposed to end. And Star Wars is now going to be being made by different companies besides Electronic Arts, which a lot of people rejoiced because it seems that EA has not done a fantastic job with the license. But yeah, an open world Star Wars game sounds really cool. It's not dated yet. Who knows even how far into development it is? This is probably like with the EA exclusive deal ending in 2023. That seems to me that would be the earliest that this game would come out. So this is like this is a 23 or 24 game, I would imagine. But I like the idea of an open world. Like you know what this screams, Charlie? This screams Mass Effect, but Star Wars.
Oh boy, I am doing a mini cheer inside my my gullet right now. Mean Green, unfortunately, no, it's not. The NFL's never going to be unleashed from EA. It seems.
No,
like.
they're gonna keep that thing forever.
If it's in the
Ryan,
game, sorry. It's in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I like that idea that. Oh my gosh, to put. KOTOR, man.
Yeah, no, I know, Charlie, I know. It sounds like EA is going to continue to make Star Wars games, so it's not that the EA is completely done with Star Wars games. EA even put out a tweet in a news release saying that, oh, we're not done, we're just not going to be the exclusive maker. EA. Would you say that the last Fallen Order, the Jedi game that came out last year, or I guess now it's 2 years, is that the only one that's been really good? Because people didn't love Battlefront.
Star Wars, the microtransaction game?
Yeah, not many people like that. It seems like the Fallen Jedi or Fallen Order or whatever.
I know there are people that like the gameplay of it, just like the business structure of how it was ported out to the fans and to the game players was not well received, obviously. I'm interested to know. So, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's not that EA is going to be perform a cease and desist, but if I believe that EA is probably gonna take up the mantle and be like, okay, Battlefront is ours. That no one's gonna take Battlefront from us. That's just a matter of fact, And like I said, even Nico Bamey's saying, he loved Battlefront. A lot of people love playing that game. I'm interested to see what type of new properties come out. You know, like when we were so excited for that Star Wars 1313,
Mm-hmm.
even the trailer for that thing got us stupid giddy. The idea of a bounty hunter merc game that, yes, Jedi are in the universe, but really it's not about that.
Yeah.
That I still want to sink my teeth into. It'll be interesting. That's huge news, and to the idea that, like, you know, a game like of the stature of Mass Effect with Star Wars characters,
Right.
just
Yeah.
and the Mandalorian with their success, and they're opening up, you know, new properties, new individual properties outside of the Canon 9. Oh Jesus, yeah. Let's
No, I'm in. That's cool.
start spending money, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. And unfortunately, we got a couple of items that are bad news. I'm looking down. I'm like, wow, I have all the bad news this week, except for one.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of downtrodden news. Cyberpunk next gen updates are going to be delayed until late 2021. So now, you know, if you own a PS5 or an Xbox Series S or X, you gotta wait a little longer for
Yep.
Update Town, because those console versions are bad. I'll be the first to admit that they're
Yeah.
horrible. They're broken in sometimes hilarious, but other times frustrating ways, and the people are just praying that, like, you know, was it CD? Is it CD Red Project?
CD Project Red.
CD Project Red. God, ugh. CD Project Red. They're hoping on a wing and a prayer that a patch comes out and saves them from all these glitches and atrocities that are affecting their gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to wait a little longer, sadly.
Yeah, that feels like with that long of a delay on those next gen versions, that means that they still feel like they're a long way from the old gen versions being where they need to be. Because the one thing that they did say originally is that they weren't going to release the next gen versions, the upgrades, until the old gen versions were to where they want them to be. So yeah, it sounds like that it may still be a while before that, because as of today, it is not back on the PlayStation Store. It has still been delisted. It is still on the Microsoft Store. They're still selling that version. Whether people are buying that version or not, I don't know. I would hope not until it's ready to go. Yeah, what a mess. And then there was a report today that another class action lawsuit was filed against them, the second one. CD Projekt Red's got a lot of problems right now.
That's I don't know why I foresee a lot of seats who are not in the game industry really affecting this and saying, hey, get this out there in Q4. I don't care. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it sucks because now Project Red is taking the brunt of it. And yes, they're part of it too, but you know, the game what am I trying to say here? The people who put the game together are getting, you know, attacked, you know, on social media, like, why didn't you make this game work right, or why isn't this working for my system, when, you know, they shouldn't be in the crosshairs. They literally, like, you know, put in the hours, put in the painstaking hours, you know, as a lot of, you know, horrible articles reported on, like, you know, the not so nice atmosphere there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it sucks. So Godspeed for Cyberpunk next gen update. Hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later.
Hopefully this year.
Yes, hopefully Halo Infinite or the update.
You know what? You know what? Give me the update.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's a 50-50 chance Halo Infinite doesn't make it this year.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
with a game like Halo, seeing a game like Cyberpunk having all these issues, I wouldn't be surprised either. I think actually that would be the best course of action if they're trying to put out a game and it's broken like this,
100%.
especially one that is, the quote unquote tent pole of, the of that company. Yeah.
100%. The upgrade or God of War.
Oh, I'd have to say the update.
Yeah, I don't think God
The
of War.
update's in motion.
I think
Until
I
we
think
see something from God of War, I'm still, again, cautiously optimistic it even comes
don't
out
we
this year.
don't we have to see God of War by spring if it's coming out this year? Don't we need to see it in like March?
Unless they do something that is completely radical, and that radical thing would be to release it in a seasonality format, kind of like what they're doing with the FF7 remake.
There's no way.
Which, no, I don't think so, but the fact that a successful title is doing that,
sure,
it kind of scares me a little bit, especially, one who is willing to put all his chips in for a particular game.
Sure.
That, yeah, I don't foresee them doing that, but that's the only way I can see them putting out something that is substantial, that can kind of stand on its own without it being a complete game, especially as expansive and as huge as God of War from 2016, 2014. No, 2016.
Yeah, 16.
So yeah, another delay that's come up. Hogwarts Legacy RPG. Apparently that's going to be delayed until 2022. Now the studios, since they made that announcement at the State of Play, back it was like right after summer, and it was like September, I want to say. They've been pretty much practicing radio silence with the media as to the progress of production for this game. Little's known about it. It is a time period piece that is what we know. It's going to be taking place in the 1800s, well before the books take place. But yeah, I know a lot of Potterheads are going to be really, really disappointed that this is going to be coming out for, at least another year.
To be honest, I didn't know that it was supposed to be a 2021 game.
I didn't think it was either.
I don't remember them saying that it was going to be.
I would have to go back and look at that showcase. But if I do remember, like, I know that they didn't stipulate that it was 2020. I still remember them saying specifically that it was 2021, but the fact that they're saying it's delayed officially now until 2022,
yeah,
it's pretty much written there that we're not going to get it this year.
Sure.
Mitch, bring us some good news, man. I keep telling people about delays. Give us some good news here.
Sure. You know what? I'll save this one. I'll do my second one first because it's a quick one. Charlie, did you know that they're making a new Pokemon Snap?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, oh snap. They announced that last year in the fall, but they didn't put a date out. They just kind of said, "Hey, it's gonna be spring." Well, Nintendo announced that the Pokemon Snap sequel will be out on April 30th of this year. Pokemon Snap is a really weird thing. Back on the Nintendo 64, you took pictures of Pokemon. You're basically on rails, and you would take pictures of Pokemon. And it was one of those games where, like, as a game, there's not a lot to it, but it was one of those relaxing, kind of neat things. And I wonder if that's going to be the same of this one. I mean, it's been 20 plus years since that original Pokemon Snap. So anyway, that's an interesting thing. I wonder if that'll be $60. But the other thing, this to me was the coolest story of the week, and the one that I feel like both of us would interest us the most. So going back to Fallout, there was a sequel to Fallout 3 called Fallout New Vegas, and there was a group of modders that have been working on a mod to Fallout New Vegas called the Frontier, and they finally put it out. People are saying that this is one of the most ambitious mods in the history of modding. They basically have created a brand new Fallout game using the Fallout New Vegas engine. The Frontier takes place in Portland, Oregon, and the map is basically the same size as New Vegas, and about as big as Fallout 3. It has 3 main quest lines that align with the New California Republic, the Northern Legion, the Crusaders of Steel, and has, this thing's got 100 side quests and actually drivable vehicles.
That will be rad.
This group also recorded, thousands of hours of dialogue for this, and it dropped the other day. And on the website that they put it on, it was so popular that it crashed the website. But yeah, this is a full-fledged gamer created Fallout game, and I watched the trailer for it. Charlie, you should watch the trailer. It looks like a goddamn awesome Fallout game. Now I kind of want to go, spend the $5 to buy the PC version of Fallout New Vegas so I can download this mod. It seems really, really neat.
Where is this available at?
So it's on a website called Nexus Mods,
okay.
They are actually working on getting it into the Steam Workshop as well. Basically, because when you download it through the Nexus Mods, you basically have to kind of go through kind of backdoor ways to get the mod to work onto Fallout New Vegas with the workshop, the Steam Workshop, the way that it's set up, it basically gets put in via Steam, and so you don't have to do that kind of background work. But this is really neat. The screenshots are really cool. You should watch the video. It's really neat. I'll send you a link after we're done here so you can watch it, because it's pretty great.
Yeah, that is definitely a game that
But see, you never played New Vegas, did you?
I have never played New Vegas.
Oh, it's so
I had
good.
my full share of Fallout, Brotherhood of Steel, all
I think it's the best
DLCs
story
that came with it. And kind of like how you fell out with Assassin's Creed a little bit. You were just kind of done with that for a while, and I was kind of done with Fallout for a while. But yeah, I'll have to try that, man. I'll have to check. I will check out that video.
First of all, you need to play New Vegas. I think it's the best story of the series, and it's a really, again, we talked about this the other day about Fallout. It's the one Fallout that gets away from the East Coast, and goes to the West Coast. Vegas and California, the desert. It's really good. Charlie, we got one more news story. You wanna hit us with it?
Well, the jig is up. The Stadia still exists.
Shit, I thought this was the week.
And I
thought this was the week.
You know what? The other host on this this podcast, this Gamecast, can attest to that.
Who? Oh, me. Yes. And speaking of that, Charlie, we have one new release this week, and it's actually on the Stadia. What's the new release this week, Charlie? It's a big one.
Hitman 3.
That's right.
Hitman 3 is out, baby.
That's right.
That is the first really, really big AAA release for 2021. So
Yeah. Have
Yep.
you seen the early review buzz?
No, I've not seen anything yet.
Um,
I've kept myself in the dark about it.
you probably shouldn't. Obviously, you
Oh
don't want to
no.
probably don't want to read too much. But the early buzz is that this is the best Hitman.
Ooh.
It's the best level
All
design. Like
right.
they basically it's what it should be. Is that with the third game they perfected Hitman. So it sounds really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's out tomorrow. It's on everything, even
Yep.
the Nintendo Switch. It's
Yeah, and
yeah.
with that VR option now, oh my gosh.
I bet you. You know what? I bet you the VR thing is really janky and pretty crappy, but I bet it's also a blast.
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, man. Hitman
Yeah.
3. But
Hitman 3, it's out tomorrow. Actually, it's out in 2 hours.
yep. So get your Hitman on. And yeah, guys, that is the news for January 19th. And we thank you for listening to us. Going to our next segment for the night. Let's remember a game. We've kind of truncated this segment down. If you didn't check us out last week, you should download the podcast at any of your podcast providers out there. We've kind of truncated this down so we can give it a little more in-depth analysis, if you will, to certain games. We don't we love these games that we pick here are games that we either love for certain reasons. We love because of certain memories that they bring to us, because they were good, because they were bad. Let's not leave anything off the cuff here, but these are games that we remember. And to kick it off, I want my buddy to start with a good oldie but a goodie from the 360. It looks like it.
That's
What you got? What you got? What you got?
That's correct. In mine, there's two reasons why I picked this. One, because it was an incredibly interesting game. I don't know if I would classify it as a great game or really even a good game, but what it did was very interesting. And the other reason is because friend of the show, our first guest ever, Ryan Mean Green, was a huge fan of this, and I'm kind of playing to an audience of one here.
Mean Green.
I am talking about A Kingdom for Keflings for the Xbox 360. So back in probably about 3 years into the life of the Xbox 360, Microsoft introduced avatars to the system. I believe at that point the Wii Mii's were a pretty big thing, and Microsoft kind of wanted to do the same thing, but a little bit, obviously because of the system being a much better graphically. Much better graphically as compared to the Wii. They made them a little bit more lifelike, so you could create these avatars. Well, what that did is Microsoft really had this thing during the 360 when they would do something like this, they would do things to allow you to use those creations in video games. We saw that a lot with the Kinect. I mean, the Kinect was a camera that you used to play games. Well, the way that they use the avatars in some of these games, like Charlie, of course, you remember the TV game show Wipeout on ABC, where you had people competing on all these different obstacle courses and the balls, and they would get knocked off and things like that. Well, they had games on the not only the Wii but also the Xbox 360 where you could use your avatars in the games. So when the avatars were released, there was a game that was developed by one of the in-house Microsoft studios called A Kingdom for Keflings. And what A Kingdom for Keflings was, it was a strategy game in kind of the same vein as your Sim City. Basically, it was about building and maintaining a kingdom or a city. And instead of you having a mouse to click around, your avatar basically was this big giant avatar on the screen that you basically used to. You had your little peon like servants and citizens, and basically you would use that to be you're basically God, but you're this big giant avatar that looked like you. It had multiplayer. So Ryan and I played a lot of this. It was free. It was part of they released it for free. It was basically part of the kind of the rollout of the avatars. Um, I did not like this game. I didn't think the gameplay was that good, but I thought it was incredibly interesting the way that they use this. I thought it was one of the cooler ways to implement these avatars. Ryan played it enough to get every single achievement, except I believe for one of the online ones, because I just would never play online with him because I didn't think it was a good game. They made a sequel called A World of Keflings that I never played, that apparently was never that good. But again, it was at that time, the 360, where Microsoft was taking chances and trying new things, trying to do kind of different things. That was the era of 1 versus 100. That was kind of the, where they were trying, with the Kinect, they were trying to do things while the PlayStation 3 was kind of stuck in trying to basically be the PlayStation 2 sequel. And, along with some of the problems that they had, they fell behind the 360. And, it took the PlayStation 4 for them to kind of start taking more chances again, and it actually worked out for them. But it was just that cool time where they were taking all these really cool chances. Microsoft was, and A Kingdom for Keflings was one of those. It didn't hit for me, and it didn't hit in general, but it was a really cool experiment that was really neat and kind of used these avatars. They still have the avatars. You can still create an avatar on your Xbox Series S. I don't know why you would, but you can. But yeah, Kingdom for Keflings, a neat thing, if not bad. So that's what I got this week, Charlie. Tell me about yours.
Before I tell you about mine, did you ever hear of a game called Black and White?
I do. Yes. You know what? Funny that you mentioned that. It's basically Black and White, except not as dire as Black and White can be. And a little bit more cartoony. And instead of Black and White, where you're just basically a hand, it's your avatar. You know what? I kind of liked Black and White back in the day. I thought it did some interesting things back in the day. Peter Molyneux.
Yep.
That's Lionhead Studios.
Black and White, I played that game, not to segue off of your game, but just the fact that it so mirrors Kingdom for Keflings, that you're a god and that you're just like running all these minions, and you're just either causing havoc among them, or you're waging wars against other fledgling nations, and playing god. And it's Kingdom for Keflings. It looks like a cute little thing. I had my fill of that type of gameplay with Black and White. And I think that's like when I saw Kingdom for Keflings, I literally was like, "Oh, this is Black and White." Like, that looks
absolutely.
Cool.
It's absolutely
and, not to diminish it. Black and White was a really, really good game.
Yeah, it was
that's cool. Like that they had something. This was Xbox Arcade, right?
It was an Xbox Arcade game, and like I said, when they rolled out the avatars, I believe the original Kingdom for Keflings was a free game. Like for the first 2 weeks, you could get it.
Wow. That's cool.
It's awesome. It's like I said, I think as a game it's not great, but as an interesting new thing, I thought it was a cool thing they tried to do. And I'll say this, it worked. Like it was what they were trying to do work. It just didn't quite as a game. It just didn't quite kind of fulfill what I like.
Mean Green, you paid for it in time, not in money.
Boy, did he.
But that's cool, man. Yeah, Kingdom for Keflings.
Mm-hmm.
That's an oldie but a goodie. And now onto my game. Another game that it I put it on there that it was on the 360, but it was actually on ported to various other outlets. And to be honest, I think I own it on 3 different platforms.
Sounds about right.
And that would be no, 4 different platforms. Oh my god. And that would be Batman Arkham Asylum. Um,
Name them all. Name all platforms you have it on.
I have it on the 360. I
Okay.
have it on the PS3, the PS4, and the
Yeah.
PC.
Okay. That's what I would guess in my mind.
And so, licensed video games have always been either the butt of people's jokes or something that you found in the bargain bin at video game stores, or just, you know, it's one of those like last resorts, or you're just a fan of like said characters, like speaking specifically to this, like comic book characters. If there were ever a game like, you had the Batman game for the NES. I'm trying to think. You had the Spider-Man game, the Maximum Carnage game for the SNES. You had Superman. You had Deadpool. He came out with his own title, which was cross-platformed. Well, I'm sorry, not cross-platform. It's multi-platformed. But when these games would come out, they were often looked at as a funny joke, as something that you would just like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. The comic book industry is trying to make some money from the video game industry side, and we'll give them some here and there. Like I'm pretty sure like that the production studios were either new up and comers still trying to experiment with their designs and such, whether it be through gameplay, through systems, through graphics. And whenever these games would come out, they just wouldn't look very good. The only really, really good licensed video games that you would see would be the ones that you would see at the arcades. Obviously, the X-Men arcade is one of the, highly touted video games that we've discussed on this channel.
100%.
But when it came to the consoles, it was just like always like, oh, okay, there's this game. And, I think Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2 was probably like, of all the video games, one of the most highly touted video game. Like it was actually a video game. It wasn't just like, oh, this is a licensed video game that just happens to have Spider-Man. It was a good game. And then in 2012 or 2011, Rocksteady, the makers of was it Manhunt? Is that right?
No, that was Rockstar.
I'm sorry, Rockstar.
Yeah.
That's my bad. They came out with this Batman game, and the idea was that Batman was going to be placed in this Arkham Asylum, and basically in his rogues gallery of villains were all at this asylum all at the same time. And it was going to be a rough night for him. Well, we've all had our share of hack and slash video games. Devil May Cry came out and was very innovative in its hacking and slashing, heavy and light attacks with dodge movements. You had God of War, which perfected that on top of it. But the Batman series, all beginning with Arkham Asylum, had developed this new style of combo system / gadgetry that has been a cornerstone of a lot of games that are starting to come out into the woodwork. That is one of the aspects of that game that made this game great. is that they put this brand new fighting system in, which was a mash button attack with a counter attack to it, a dodge system in it, and the ability to use gadgets on the fly without having to pause in the middle of fighting. And ultimately, bottom line, it made the player feel like Batman for the first time. That was one aspect of it. If that game just had that, it would be a good game. The setting of that game is ridiculously phenomenal. It was on borderline a horror game because it was set in an insane asylum with a whole bunch of, wretched Blackgate killers and murderers who not only were they there at the beginning of the game to just kind of come out of the woodwork and, obviously they have access to the stash of weaponry that the guards, who have been taken down to ambush Batman. But then there's a twist in the middle of the game where, like, obviously there's a chemical reaction. They all turn into ghouls. So you have that aspect of that. But then with that, okay, so you have the fighting system and then you have the setting. What makes licensed games, what makes it a challenge for licensed games to go from good to great is not just the fighting and not just the setting. It's a combination of those two plus the boss fights. And the boss fights that you have against Batman's villains are arguably second to none. Because you are battling, oh my gosh, you're battling Scarecrow in this weird three-dimensional horrorscape. You're battling the lizard the Killer Croc underneath in the sewers of Arkham Asylum. You're battling, you're chasing after the Joker in as an overall theme to that game. You have Harley Quinn, who is, they newly designed Harley Quinn, obviously in the nurse's outfit. And then you have the Riddler, the Riddler riddles that, with every open world. And Batman really isn't. Batman Arkham Asylum isn't an open world, but in a categorical sense, it is. It's just it's a smaller open world, and you're chasing after all these icons on the screen and in certain areas to to get yourself all the way up to 100%, because that's what you do in open world games. And like I said before, the challenge of the licensed games has always been to hit a home run in all these categories. And I think Batman Arkham Asylum does that in its opening salvo. And the fact that it did in its opening game is a testament to what Rocksteady did, and honestly how it not just matches that, but it actually makes it better with every sequel after the fact.
A couple questions for you.
Yeah.
One, does this game still hold up?
Very much so.
Okay. I figured that's what
there's going to be some graphical, obviously you can tell it's an older game, but if you looked at this game back in 2011, 2012, you would have thought you're already looking into the future of gaming, period.
Sure. Of the Arkham series, where does this fit in terms of your favorite?
I would have to say that this is probably the runner-up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because of the fact that, because, like I said, it's an open world, but it's a limited open world. It's a limited open world. Arkham City opens it up to a whole array. It's like it took Arkham Asylum and said, "Oh my gosh, we did this with in second gear. Let's go to fourth gear and bring in everybody."
Yeah.
Like,
and isn't Arkham City a true open world? Like it takes place in the city, so you're
yes.
playing in Arkham.
It's a little far-fetched, the idea behind what drives Arkham City and its setting. That's comic books though. But like I've said before, as I was listing down who you're fighting in Arkham Asylum, because it is a limited, open world game, there are limitations on to who you fight. Like, I totally forgot to even mention Bane. You fight him in the game, and you fight Poison Ivy. But again, Batman's rogues gallery of villains is probably second to none in regards to the other DC heroes. And while Arkham Asylum is like the appetizer to the Arkham City main course when it comes to villains. There's just so much more. And like you said, because it opens up even more so, you have larger threats, bigger threats, different threats that a game like Arkham Asylum couldn't have really, in just their limited scope, because it was the first game, I don't think that they saw how big it was going to be, yet.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, the Batman series, the Arkham series, is a blind spot for me. It's like there's no reason why I didn't play it. I just never played it. Okay, let me ask you this. If I were to play Arkham Asylum, you said it holds up.
Yep.
Mostly because you played it back then, you've played it recently, you have a very deep fondness for it. Will I have trouble playing a game like that in terms of with how old it is and where games are now? Will I have trouble going back to it?
I don't think so. Again, it is a 10-year-old game. You've got to put that into your brain, into thinking okay, the way graphically, you can tell there is a little bit of aging, but this is not like looking at GoldenEye or something like that,
or even a PlayStation 2 game. Sure,
this may be like looking into God of War, not even the first God of War, like God of War 2 or God of War 3, where things really, really start to kick off. I'd actually more say God of War 3, but graphically, there are going to be a few okay, this is an older game, but gameplay and game style and atmosphere wise and the sheer fun that you're going to get, because being Batman is being Batman.
Sure.
It's second to none, to be honest.
Yeah.
The series.
That's cool. Yeah. I wish I would have been in on that kind of back in the day. And it is funny because it is weird to be like, yeah, that game's only 10 years old. It's weird to think that because it feels like it's it feels 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Time is slowing down, Charlie. We're getting old.
Definitely. Time is definitely slowing down. Chat, if you have anything, do you guys have any games that we would like to help us reminisce? Now is your opportunity. Just a recap for tonight, we get over a fun little god game, Kingdom for Keflings, found on the Xbox 360. It was released free for a time. Came out the Xbox Arcade. And then Batman Arkham Asylum, which I played on the 360, but it was definitely available on various outlets out there. In my case, the 360, the PS3, the PS4, and the PC.
Yeah, very Xbox 360 centric. Let's remember a game.
Yeah,
this
it's
week.
Weird that I went there. I was I was thinking of a game, and to be honest, my first console thought was 360. I don't know about you, but that was me. I was I want to bring something a little more current, but not too current.
Well, I feel like with the 360, that was the first console in PS3 era too. Let's just use the whole era. I feel like that was the era where games kind of hit the generation where we're in now, where everything started looking really good, and you could do so much with the graphical capabilities of those consoles, and it's when video games got adult, kind of that kind of crap. But I think that was in our wheelhouse of really playing hardcore gaming. It was the end of the PS2 era, when we were playing Madden and Tiger together. But I really feel like that the 360, especially the 360, because that's what we all had and played, that was the real sweet spot for multiplayer stuff. We had a Rock Band, we had our, Battlefield era and Gears and Left 4 Dead. I think that, especially for this podcast, I think that's really the sweet spot for us.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was definitely like amongst the height of our gaming times or whatever. And
it's funny. It feels like we either have a selection from the 360 era or the Super Nintendo era.
Oh, I know.
It's either childhood memories or something in the 360 era.
I've had a thought, like, in regards to, like, again, I don't know why it always goes back to that bracket system, because, it's almost bracket time, by the way, bringing it back to sports, speaking of, but something like in regards to, like, 360 and Super Nintendo games squaring off against each other. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, all right. Real quick, because I'm not seeing anything in chat, so we'll use the chat portion to talk about this. What if? Okay, so I feel like the 360 era is a big sweet spot for us.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just did a 360 era bracket?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like we could fill at least a 32 team bracket with games, and then have the big battle royale. Hell, we may even be able to somehow. 64 is a lot. I was going to say maybe 64, but
boy, I've still have a stack of games behind me, and I'm like,
you know what?
I could get to 64.
We could get to 64. Because is the 360 era and PS3. Let's not forget about them. And I guess the Wii. I mean, that was the Wii era.
Oh yeah.
But is that the sweet spot? For us, especially, is that the sweet spot? Because look, graphics, because graphically, obviously now is way better, and kind of the fidelity in the control and everything like that is obviously better. But maybe the 360 era, maybe that generation is the sweet spot. I don't know.
I think it is. I mean, of all the memories I've had of playing on that thing, like with you guys or solo or playing, with my girlfriend, now wife, or with my brother, or playing with randos online, or, I mean, Left 4 Dead, Rock Band, Guitar Hero,
100%.
Gears of War 3. Can I and stop me when we come across a game where we're like, nah, Bass Bros.
Battlefield 3.
I was about to say Battlefield 1943 or 2.
Yeah, 1943.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, Ass Bros with you guys. And that's the thing, is that we all
versus 100.
Yeah, we all, and it's funny because we all weren't on every single one of these games.
Yeah.
I was not in on a lot of the Gear stuff. I was not in on the Assassin's Creed stuff. But you, in particular, weren't in on a lot of the Battlefield stuff. That was me and a lot of Ryan. You were in on some of it. Left 4 Dead and Rock Band appear to be the two games that were every single one of us in our group was in on that. But we all have kind of this Venn diagram from the 360 era. It was what a fantastic system. Also a great controller.
If ifs and buts were candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But anyway.
Yes, Charlie.
That is the segment of the day, the topic of the day. Let's remember a game. And now we are moving on to a little thing we call the mailbag. Oh, I double tapped.
Whoops.
Oops.
Oh no. Is everything all right over there, Charlie?
And in today's mailbag, we got some really cool questions. Fingers are slipping. I'm hitting buzzards all over left and right. It's okay. If you got any questions for us, please drop them in our Discord. Mail us at themcgamescast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter, on Twitch. Hit us up in the chat. We got some really cool questions and I want to say thankfully because I miss seeing this guy in the chat. I miss seeing his streams. And I really can't wait to actually talk to him one-on-one again. Smithy, he is a streamer. Check him out on twitch.tv. He does some of the most amazing streams, but he is a great person. He was really sick over the last week or so. And it sounds like he is back on the mend, back and a little bit healthier and judging from some of the questions he submitted, he has not lost any of his fervor at all.
Yeah, he's back. He's actually streaming right now.
That's awesome.
So he seems like he's all the way back.
So anyway, we got a couple of questions from him. We got a couple of questions from Nico as well. But we'll go to Smithy, our brother from across the pond. You've been invited to join a tournament. You can choose any player worldwide to team up with. Who do you choose and why to aid a victorious win?
So obviously my tournament's going to be Rocket League. And the player that I would choose is G2 Esports' own Rizzo. And here's why I would choose Rizzo. Because the reason why I would choose Rizzo is because this would be a threes tournament. And my other partner would be Nico Bambi, and Nico has the biggest boner for Rizzo, and so I would want Rizzo because he's a great Rocket League player, but also I want to see the big crazy video game boner that our friend Nico would have, and also we would win the tournament because Rizzo's amazing.
Nice. I didn't really think too much of this question, so I picked. Because I don't really do tournament games. I play solo games, I play storyline games. But if I were to pick a tournament, let me do and this is not like me, by the way. But let me do one with Call of Duty or Battlefield. And dude, I would pick Snoop Dogg as my freaking my cohort, because he not only would he be giving me shit for being such a bad player. Mm-hmm. He would be smoking it up, and we would get high in there. We would just be laughing our asses off the entire time. So
he's so high.
Either him or
look,
Jamie
you're
Foxx.
You're Weed 3. You would not win the tournament at all, but you would be having the best time.
Yeah, it would be a fun time. We may not be winners on the screen or in the stat book, but we would be winners in our hearts. 3 guys are in a game shop arguing over which is better, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. You have been asked to choose a game to end all disputes available on all 3 platforms. Do you A, help by offering a game, or B, laugh because you're a PC player and they have little dicks? Thank you, Smithy.
Such a Smithy question. So you know me, Charlie. You know my answer is wherever you play video games are great. Console wars are stupid. PC wars are stupid. But I guess if I'm picking, see, and this question's hard because who are we buying the game for? Is it for a kid? Is it for someone like us? It's hard to answer because if it's hey, what should I buy for my kid? Then something like Super Mario is what you would choose. You know, it's a game that you know, because obviously if it's an 11-year-old, you're not going to give him Doom Eternal, as cool as that game is. But I don't know, like it's difficult without a little bit of context. But also, you know, all the consoles are great.
Okay.
And Smithy, you need to stop knowing I have a little dick. What about you, Charlie?
I mean, because I have a new rig, I'm not going to say that because I'm a PC player and all you guys have little dicks. I'm not going to do that.
He's totally saying we have little dicks, guys.
I don't know. I feel like the same way you do. You have to put some stuff in the context. Shoot, Mass Effect. That's what I would say.
Sure, and like doesn't that kind of just become, hey, what's our favorite game? Like, because like I could be like, hey, you should get Rocket League because it's free and it's amazing. Like it's a weird. It's hard to say. Like, to be honest, like that's like this is just Smithy's way to put in a joke, and I'm all for it. I'm surprised he wasn't like, why is the answer not Xbox because Halo blah 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 play Tetris. Like, I'm surprised he didn't go there. Maybe he still is a little bit sick because he didn't do that.
Yeah.
We love you, Smithy.
He's like, I gotta put in dick somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta put a dick somewhere.
You know. What he says to the missus at night. Question number 3 from Smithy. What would Mitch rather see? Rocket League remade for next gen with DLC, or Rocket League 2 on a fresh plate? That is a great question.
It is a very good question, and they've technically already done the next gen thing. They've put out next gen updates for Rocket League, and they like the way that free to play games in that like this and Fortnite and all that, they essentially have daily DLC, where you can buy different cars and things like that. Like, I don't think they need to make a Rocket League 2. Like, Rocket League to me is the perfect game in terms of the tightness of controls, what that game does. Like, I don't know what making a Rocket League 2 from scratch, I don't know what that looks like. And what I mean, I guess you could be like, well, let's make it from the ground up for the new consoles and PC, like new modern PCs, and make it badass looking, and you know, with RTX and everything like that. But aside from that, like in terms of like improving the game, there's no way to improve that game. It's already a perfect video game.
Hear me out.
Okay, I'm hearing. I'm listening.
Rocket League 2. Here's the concept.
Okay.
Twisted metal with a ball.
See, Charlie, here's the problem with that, Charlie. They already have that mode. It's called Rumble. They already beat you to it. You know what Rumble's fun? You know what's funny, Charlie, is that like you kind of like Rocket League from kind of afar more than anything. If you played Rumble, you would totally be a Rumble main and love Rumble. It's so stupid. I hate Rumble. You would love Rumble. Like, you get these abilities and power-ups, and you can use them against other players, and yeah. Like, it's basically Twisted Metal or Battle Mode from Super Mario Kart, but Rocket League. It's really stupid.
Let's rumble, baby!
That's right, let's rumble. You can. I'll just play regular, because I don't like Rumble.
All right, we got a couple of questions from Nico. Mitch, why don't you read this first one off, buddy?
All right, sure. Okay. Would you rather play the game you love for 1 hour per week? You get 1 hour. Or you can play a game that you don't really care for that much, but you can play it anytime you want, all during the week. Like, you like it, but you don't. Like, it's just kind of like, eh.
Like Rocket League.
Yeah, for you, it'd be Rocket League. No, that's the thing, is that you would do it and then you would end up liking it.
I would do the 1 hour game of, like, that I love. Like, even though it would pain me. Because, like, you know, in this age of Netflix binging, I'm probably like the old man, screaming from the lawn like, hey, you should wait a week, for your next episode. I'm still cool with that, kind of concept, even with like these new shows coming out saying, hey, we're going to do it on a scheduled basis. I love that. And so being able to play something for an hour, and have to wait a week till I, go to the next thing, that's going to last me throughout the entire freaking year, to be honest. What about you?
Well, and I agree. And I think for us specifically, we can be fine with the once a week thing because, like you said, you have other entertainment things. We can watch TV, we can watch Netflix, we can watch whatever. We also have, we have kids. We both have kids, spouses notwithstanding, but you have spouse. But like we work, we work full time. So we have, right. We've got all these, we have so many different responsibilities that already take up a lot of that time to begin with that, like if like here's our 1 hour, whatever it is, Thursday night, here's my 1 hour of Rocket League. That it would take the time to adjust to it because you're not doing it as much as you used to. But there's so many other things that we want or need to do that I don't think it would be that difficult at all. And like just the idea of playing some meh game that we don't like very much, something like what I've been watching, Deadly Premonition, like I don't know, like I just don't think that, or Shenmue. Can you imagine playing Shenmue all the time? Some people would like that. By the way, watching that the second time through, that game fucking sucks. God damn it. Anyway,
let it go. Watch something else.
I'll watch Deadly Premonition instead. At least that's interesting. But anyway, I don't think playing for 1 hour a week it would be that difficult at all. It would suck, but it's just like we got so much other stuff going on.
So it sounds like 1 hour. Excellent.
Yeah, we're going 1 hour.
Question number 2. You can choose one option. All are top of the line, but it's the only thing you can purchase for the entire year. A mouse, a keyboard, a mic, a headset, a chair, or the top of the line controller. Pick one.
Can I add one more thing to this to make this interesting?
Sure.
Mostly because a lot of these we either already have what we want or we don't care to have them. I want to add a badass PC monitor to this.
Okay.
Like 4K, 144 hertz. To me though, I would.
There's some drawbacks to that though. Some of these games aren't being able to play to those specs yet. So.
Oh, sure. I mean, my monitor is a 75 hertz, so I can play in 75 frames per second. And like to me, anything over like 75 or 90 frames is kind of overkill anyway. Like I've tried playing Rocket League at 120 frames, and it's just it's a lot. It's so many frames. Like to me though, so mouse and keyboard. I don't play PC games with mouse and keyboard at all, so I don't care about that. Like I like my microphone, my headset, whatever. Like I have a chair. I want to get an Xbox Elite 2 controller really bad. They are. Like I already love the Xbox controller. Like I think it's a perfect controller. But from what I've read, and I know people. My brother-in-law has an Elite 2 controller, and he swears by it. It's almost $200 though. But if I had the one, like, okay, this is what I'm getting this year. I want that Elite controller. I want to use that to play all of my games, and it's got all the paddles and just all this weird stuff. I want that Elite controller.
Okay.
What about you?
That's a good one. See, I don't compete. I don't play games where I'm like in tournaments and stuff like that. So even though an Elite controller would be awesome, like he would really do me no better than what my good old 360 controller is doing for me right now.
It's a great controller. It's so good.
I would say, and like, you know, to be honest, like I have a brand new one, but having the ultra top of the line chair.
Yeah, that's the other one.
You're sitting in it the entire time. Comfort is one of those things that you tend to neglect when you're sitting down for hours at a time and engaged with, you know, a video game and such. And the moment you step out of that thing, you feel either how hard your chair was, or, you know, how basically you're just completely uncomfortable, like when you're in the thing. This chair's really cool. It's got a cool headrest. It's got a nice lumbar pillow with like a nice vibrator inside it too. You know, just that's for you, Smithy. Me and my vibrating pillow.
See, he's got something up his ass now, Smithy.
But yeah, like, and I've seen those chairs that have that recliner feature.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why do you have that? Like,
the recliner on the gaming chairs is stupid.
Yeah, like I can see, like, you know, slinking backwards just a little bit, you know, just to shake for a little bit. But why do you need to put your feet up? Like, like how far back are you reclining that thing? Like, how are you playing your video game?
Yeah,
like, in the first place.
You know,
so I don't know. That just go ahead.
I was gonna say, I will say, of all of the things that I've purchased for my setup, for my streaming and computer setup, the chair is the thing that has been the most important for me, because what I was using before, which was a metal backed basically an iron throne dining room chair, and it was killing my back. Like, I went through stretches where my back was in such a bad way. Well, when I got this chair, I have not had back pain since. And, you know, because part of it was we were in quarantine and I was working all day, and so I was sitting in front of the computer all day and then all night streaming, and just not having a chair that had good support for my back. It was really bad for me, and getting a chair that had that. I love my chair, and yeah, I think you're right. Like, if it wasn't for the Elite controller, that's what I would choose. I would choose like the top of the line one. I know that's going to last for years and years and years, and get the perfect, exactly the perfect thing. Because like the one I got is good. But it doesn't have the longevity as much as some of these, you know, ridiculous like $500-$600 ones. But yeah, that's what I would do.
It's better than a dining room chair.
Oh, well, I mean, look, to be fair, I would have been better off just sitting on the floor than using that stupid dining room chair.
Before I got this chair for Christmas, I was using a Bosu ball. That thing.
Yeah, that sounds better than the dining room chair.
As awesome as it was to bounce on that, every time I got up after streaming, my calves were just on fire, because those were literally supporting me from like going back and forth and to and fro, and
those early podcasts that you'd be sitting there just like this,
bouncing up and down.
Like, it was one of those things where it was, I couldn't decide if I hated it that you were doing that or loved it. Like, there was no in between. There was no like indifference. It was either, and I could never decide where I like, because there were times where I'm like, he's got to stop bouncing. It's so distracting. But then other times it'd be like, he'd be sitting there and he'd be like kind of happy and be like talking about video games and bouncing. I'm like, he looks like a child. Oh God,
those are the days, man.
Don't ever get that. Don't ever use the ball. I can see the ball in the background, by the way. Not on your stream version, but your other camera that I see. Yeah. There's that stupid ball on your treadmill over there.
It's there just in case.
Oh boy, I hope you never have to use it again. Or maybe I do hope. Anyway, let's move on.
Next question, number 3. You want to read that?
Yeah. So I actually helped Nico kind of craft this question from its original form, which I really like the way it turned out. So you're given the ability to own 3 unopened console. So they're brand spanking new in box from the history of gaming. What 3 consoles do you choose? And 2, upon receiving them, do you open them and play them? You keep them in the box, or do you sell them for potentially lots of money, depending on what you choose?
Oh, from the history of gaming.
Yeah, you get, and basically you're.
I thought you
getting,
were just talking about PS5s. It's like, boy, you just want to make me upset about this question, don't you?
Is it just 3 PS5s? No. And Nick also, I didn't put it in here on the question, but he said that basically you're getting these consoles for free. You're not spending any money.
Yeah.
You're just getting you're getting the opportunity to pick any 3 consoles in gaming history, and then you get to choose what you do with them.
Man.
So can I give you mine, because I've been thinking about
go
this
ahead.
all day.
Now that I've given a little more context into what I'm allowed to pick. Go ahead.
Right. So so 2 of mine would be the NES and the Super Nintendo. Those would be the 2 that I would pick, new, pristine in box, and those would be the 2 that I would keep in box. I would never open it. I would never sell it. I hate that I got rid of all of my stuff when I was younger, and that includes either selling them or letting my parents. I would not play them. Here's why I wouldn't play them. I can play all that stuff anywhere.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's true.
Like, it's just there's no.
But the
there's
smell when you open it for the first time.
Sure. No, you're right. And I'll say this. I'm not going to say I would never open the box, because I can't. It's hard. It's hard.
Rubber in the plastic.
It's very. Smithy is rating us.
Hey, Smithy.
Smithy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everybody to the MC Gamescast. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks to Smithy.
Hey.
Yeah, like the there would be a hashtag Smithy raid. There would be the thought in the head of, oh, I gotta open this. Well, it'd be difficult. So my 3rd console I would pick, and I think this will help you, Charlie, is I would pick the PS5.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna want to pick something that I'm going to use.
Sure.
And so I have a Switch, I've got the new Xbox, so I'm gonna get the one that I don't have. But yeah, it would be very hard not to open them, but I would love to keep them new in box. So
yeah, no. I mean, now that I know what I'm picking, gosh, it would have to be obviously the PS5, because son of a bitch, like, oh my gosh, like, trying to get my hands on that thing has been a effort and futility, first of all. Second of all, God, the other 2, an Atari 2600.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have it. I'd probably just keep it in box, unopened, never opened it ever again, just put it up on my shelf and be like, look, buddy, this is what's going to eventually pay for your college tuition one day. I don't know.
Sure.
The other one would probably be the NES. Speaking specifically to the Super Mario Duck Hunt combo. It's still my favorite purchase. That's still the best feels I've ever had in regards to purchasing
the action set.
Yeah, the action set. I didn't buy that. My mom bought that for me. But when I opened that thing on Christmas Day, it was like, I didn't go off like the N64 kid. God, I wish I could have, on video or whatever. But that thing just got me super excited, because I was now officially entering into the video game world at the time. So, yeah, man, that's cool. I like that question a lot. Last question. Assuming you currently have no way to play games. This is a bad question already. Right. You are handed $600. Do you buy a new gen console or a low-tier gaming laptop?
Well, first of all, Charlie, allow me real quick. We're going to do some tech work here on the fly. I've been told by a little birdie that the music might be a little too loud and it's overriding our voices. A little birdie has told me that. Thank you so much, brother-in-law.
Well, I'll just stop it right now.
Thank you so much, there, Mick. So I think this is very easy. I would pick a next gen console. Because look, a low tier gaming laptop will get you so far, but you're not going to be able to play new stuff. You're not playing the new Assassin's Creed. You're not playing Cyberpunk. When it works. Your Watch Dogs, like your brand new stuff. You're not going to be able to play that on the low tier gaming laptop. So give me something that is going to be able to play anything that I want to play. And whether you're picking the new Xbox or the PlayStation 4, you're going to be able to play anything as far back as, the 360 and PlayStation era, PlayStation 3 era. So you've got the old and the new, and you're all set for this generation. A low tier gaming laptop's just not going to get you that far.
All right.
What about you?
I feel the same way because as a person who played lower tier gaming on a gaming laptop, period,
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna go out of your way to buy a redonkulous rig, that is portable, a laptop basically, unless you know what the F you are doing in regards to the hardware and technical aspects, like gamer cards are eventually going to, come up and supplant what you have in that rig.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking out of experience, I came in, my first gaming PC that I bought, it was an MSI, and it had the NVIDIA 1050, or I'm trying. It was one of the first 1000 series that was in it.
Yeah.
And at the time, having like a 780 was like, oh my gosh, like I can do all these things, or whatever. And like I got that, I was like, oh my god, yeah, here we go. I don't have to worry about a console for a while. Actually, I jumped out of the console game for quite a bit. The time will eventually lap you in regards to how technology is just exponentially getting better and better every time. The console, excuse me, with the next gen console, you can just kind of go in and just start playing or whatever, and you're just kind of married to the fact that of what you're going to be playing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With a laptop, there's just going to be this ever present, this feeling at all times that you're like on borrowed time. And I get consoles are similar in that respect, but it's kind of like that's what you get when you're going into a console anyway.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and this question comes at a time where those next gen consoles are very brand new too, and we know that we've got 5 to 7 years of the next gen. And look, I really like my gaming laptop. I think it's a nice laptop. It's got a 1650 in it, but I am already running against, when I play certain PC games. Like I downloaded Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
That game does not run great on this PC. Like I can turn the settings down and get it to where it's okay, but it's not great. And that's a game that came out, a year and a half ago, and like Assassin's Creed or even Cyberpunk, those games would not run on this PC. It's great for what I use it for, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do what you did and get a good rig if I'm gonna be any type of PC gamer.
Well, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor, and I found one. Buying a console is buying like a really really good Infinity. Like it's an upper class, like luxury car or whatever. You are, amongst the class of like Lexus and BMW and Mercedes.
Sure.
Buying a lower tier gaming laptop is like buying a Ferrari that is basically like stock and like everything is like manual and all the good premium kits have been taken out of it.
And it's
That's
like from
pretty much what it is.
It's used from like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's
like
still the stock version.
That's
good.
It's good like immediately, but then when people start to, not when people start to, but when you yourself start to discover the limits of what your computer can really do, especially when all these games are coming out, like, oh, you can run this on Ultra, and you try to, like your attempts with the Warzone and stuff, you're like, oh well, it runs okay, but man, it runs better on my my console. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And no, mixed. I would drive it too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to think of like a similar metaphor. I would totally drive a older Ferrari, but when it comes to like the difference between like a brand new gen console versus a lower tier gaming laptop, that's the closest thing I can like really think of.
Sure. No, I'm with you.
It's like going to a nice restaurant and buying like the best thing in there, or going to like a 5-star restaurant and then just getting the appetizers.
Oh, but those appetizers are really good, Shirley.
Crab cakes and
that's not a good example. All right,
I've swerved off the road.
We have to move on. I'm gonna get hungry. Let's go.
Okay.
I can't.
All right.
Do you want to talk about food for an hour?
Oh my gosh. Dude, I got ideas in regards to what I'm going to be doing with my scatter shooting segment going forward. But speaking of scatter shooting, I've got a scatter shooting segment coming up right now. And hopefully the noise is not like so loud as it was last time, because it is tonight's video game show, starring your host Charlie Zarzuela with our guest contestant Team Llama Squad.
Who, me?
Oh yeah, this guy right here. And we just want to let the contestants know, the one contestant that we have, that every contestant tonight will be taking home their own sample of Abraxo cleaner. So if you have any stains or blood stains or myelin guts or death claw brains like hanging off of it, Abraxo cleaner will do its best and do its damnedest to get those stains right out for you in the Fallout apocalypse. That's Abraxo cleanser. Anyway, so we got these group of questions for you. Welcome, Spiffy Fingers. Welcome to the chat.
Just real quick, you're having that audio issue where when music's playing, I can't hear you.
Oh, really? It's doing that now, huh?
It's doing it now, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
God. All right, well, we'll turn off the gaming thing then. So
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything you were saying.
Really? Ugh.
I'm sorry.
Bloody computers. Anyway, I'll do that in post. But
yeah, do it in post.
So, you're a gamer, right?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Do you know video games?
Sure, I think I do. Okay,
well, we got a group of questions for you, and let's see how much you know your video games. Like these can range from like very very easy to very very hard. You got history, you have easy, you have hard. You have influencers, and you have movies based on video games. I'm just going to start throwing stuff at random at you to see what you know.
Go.
Question number 1. What year was Nintendo founded?
Oh, boy. I don't know the exact year. Oh, boy. I I know it's. I'm gonna just guess a year. 19. It's like 1915.
Sorry, sir, that is incorrect. The fact that you went that far, that's impressive.
Yeah, I knew that because they used to be a toy company.
Nintendo was founded in September 23rd, 1889.
See, I almost said 1800s.
That's to be honest. So I'm using like a website that I'm like, okay, there's some stuff on here, and when it showed the answer, I was like, I have to look this up because that looks like a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 1889. So one wrong. All right. Okay. Second question. What is the best-selling handheld gaming system to date?
That would be the Nintendo DS.
Nice, very good. That is correct. All right, here we go. Got one for two. What is the most expensive video game made to date?
Video game?
Yep.
Or console?
What is the most expensive video game made to date?
Ah, man, I don't know. Those Neo Geo games were super expensive. They were $600. I don't know what one. I don't know a specific answer though.
The answer, according to this website, is Grand Theft Auto 5. I think it's in regards to like the production side.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have guessed that, or Red Dead, or something, or one of our Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I thought you were talking like how much in terms of how much you had to purchase it for.
Sure, that's what I thought too, and I was like, really? And so I had to look it up. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I don't think that should count. I don't think that should count against my yes or no answers. Not that it matters.
Well, I gotta give you the ding. What popular dining franchise is the founder of Atari also responsible for?
Oh, that's easy. That's Nolan Bushnell, who also came up with Chuck E. Cheese.
Nice, dude. Confidence.
That's right.
That's really, really good. Okay.
If you go back to a previous topic of the show when we were talking about the history of Atari.
There you go.
Anyway, go ahead.
What food was the character Pac-Man modeled after?
Oh, it was. I can't remember if this was a joke or not, but I believe what it was is that when they were trying to when Namco was trying to come up with a character, there was a pizza on the table and someone took a slice out of it.
Oh, sorry. That is right. Yeah. Sorry, I gave you the wrong buzzer for a while. I was like, no, that's right.
You were so right. You were wrong.
Pac-Man creator Toru Iwatani was eating pizza when he came up with the idea for this beloved character.
All right.
The United States Air Force used what gaming console to create a cluster supercomputer?
That would be got it. Oh no, it's PlayStation. They used hundreds of PlayStation 2s. Oh, it's 3, isn't it?
It's 3, bud.
3. Fuck, I couldn't remember if it was 2
You're
or
off
3.
by just one digit.
Damn it. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3.
All right. These are just the miscellaneous ones. I'm going to give you some easy ones, really, really quick ones. Mario first appeared in what video game?
I guess that would be Donkey Kong.
That's right. What is the name of Mario's dinosaur sidekick?
Yoshi.
That is right. How many American households play video games?
How many? American households?
Yes. You know
I'll
what?
say...
That's not a fair question. That's very subjective. I'm not going to go with that.
I'll guess 150 million.
I mean, it's based upon a percentage, so don't worry about that. That's a dumb question. My bad. In Minecraft, what typically results from setting an Enderman on fire?
Oh God. What usually when you set an Enderman on fire? Man, I don't know. I've never set an Enderman on fire. I
Jack,
don't
you
know
have
the.
the opportunity to answer any of these questions, by the way. You give up?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, we're going to give you the wrong buzzer. Endermen usually teleport to water for safety that when set on fire, but then drown. So setting Endermen on fire effectively results in their suicide.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because they do teleport. Yep. All right.
Who is the Nintendo character Mario's namesake?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. Well, no, I mean, oh, shit. I do know this, I think.
Take a stab.
I want to say that Shigeru Miyamoto had a friend whose name was Mario, and he based it on his friend. I'm gonna go with that.
I don't know if the landlord was his friend, but it's the Nintendo landlord Mario Segale.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm not friends with my landlord, so.
That's true. I was close though. It was someone he knew. Anyway, go ahead.
What is the name of the first video game to be? That's not the right answer. No, we're not doing that one.
Well, what's the question?
What is the name of the first video game to be played in outer space?
Oh, I have no idea.
StarCraft?
I mean, I guess it could be.
Like, how many Star Wars movies games came out before StarCraft?
I mean, I guess they didn't play video games until like the space shuttle missions later on, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. What games did the famous actor Robin Williams reportedly name his children after?
The Legend of Zelda.
And?
Well, his daughter's name is Zelda.
That's correct.
And I guess I didn't know he had another kid. I guess I assume it's Link.
Okay. I'll give you a right for half of this and then for the wrong. So it is Zelda for Legend of Zelda and Cody from Final Fight.
Oh, I didn't know there was another game. Okay. To be honest, I didn't know he had a son, but I knew that he called his daughter Zelda because of Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you got that Zelda was pretty good. Zoraldo?
Yeah, that's from Jeopardy.
What is a frag?
That a frag is when you kill someone in a shooter. It's basically a death.
That's correct, but we were looking for a hand grenade. So I won't do anything.
Okay, so
no, you're right though.
It's both.
Yeah. The Umbrella Corporation is a fictitious pharmaceutical company in what game?
Resident Evil.
That's right. Okay, these were the easy. What country tried to put a ban on midnight gaming?
A ban on midnight gaming?
Mm-hmm.
Probably an Asian country. Probably China. I'm just, Oh, I mean, yeah, like it. That sounds like something South Korea would do.
That is right. South Korea once passed a law that prohibited minors under 16 from gaming during the late hours of the night.
My mild racism helped me out.
Your second mention of Asians in this Gamescast, sir.
And you know what? Neither one of them were racist. You leave me alone.
What was Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple's, favorite game?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that, so I'll just guess. I'll say his favorite game was Space Invaders.
It would be Tetris.
Okay. Fair enough. I have no idea.
Okay, those were the easy ones. Now we're going to go into some hard questions.
Let's go. Let's fucking do this.
In the game BioShock, what was the original name for the gene bank?
Oh, I have no idea. I never played that game more than 10 minutes.
It's called Plasmiquick.
Okay.
All right. What game did the character Sonic first appear in?
I don't know if this is a trick question or not. I mean, I don't know anything pre-Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'll just say Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic first appeared as an air freshener in the 1991 Sega release Red Mobile?
That's a bullshit question, and you know it. Garbage.
It is garbage.
He was also in Shenmue.
What was the first gaming console to have internal memory?
Internal memory.
It'd be awesome if you could play the freaking tracks, stupid computer.
I mean, the first one I knew was the 360, but that can't be it if these are supposed to be hard. Man, I don't know. There's probably some weird. Oh, it's not something stupid like the Virtual Boy, is it?
No. You're close to go backwards though. Is the Sega Saturn was
Okay,
shipped with 1 megabyte of internal memory?
See,
Boom.
I
Smithy
thought,
had it.
Yeah, I thought Saturn. I actually thought about the Saturn.
What is the name of the siren character in Borderlands?
Oh, I have no idea.
Really?
I don't remember the names of the guys. I don't remember. I remember Claptrap from that game. I don't know the names.
Her name was Lilith.
Okay. Yeah, that rings a bell. Okay.
What country refused to provide a rating for Fallout 3 due to morphine use in the game?
When Australia, was it?
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
That is correct.
That is correct. He takes his shirt off. No, I remember there being a controversy with that game with Australia. I definitely remember that.
A few more questions. I mean, there's plenty more questions to go on, but we're running a little long now. So, why does Brazil charge 120% on video games? That fucking sucks, by the way.
Why do they?
Yes.
Is there a specific reason?
There is a specific reason.
Because they're dumb? I don't know. I mean, does it have to do with import fees?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's an old law in the books that in Brazil, it classifies video games as gambling, resulting in an extraordinary tax rate. That's crazy.
I mean, if you play games like Madden and NBA 2K, those are basically gambling. Jeez.
Okay, Skyrim man.
Okay, that's me. I'm Skyrim man. Nice to meet you.
How many people sing in the opening song to Skyrim?
How many people? I mean, I know it's a lot. Because I can't believe I'm about to say this. I've seen video of the recording of that song.
Okay.
For some reason.
I'll give you an over and under of 5 I'll give you an over and under of 5 if you can get near it.
Oh, you're saying if I get within 5?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, during the that part.
Do that again.
I'm gonna say it's 45 people.
Oh. Okay, you went a little high. It's actually only 30.
Okay.
But recording and layering made the end result sound like there were 90 people.
Okay. Yeah, because I knew it was because in watching the video, there's a lot of people. I mean, I didn't sit there and count the people, but there's a lot of people, and I thought it was a little bit more than 30. But yeah,
it sounds like not 5.
It sounds like they could have just had me do it, and they could have just layered it over and over again. Oh yeah, all
right. Famously, what ailment was Nintendo sued and lost for, resulting in payouts?
What ailment?
Yes.
Arthritis?
No.
Okay.
Blisters on the thumbs of children for playing too much Mario Party.
Fuck that game!
And that is tonight's trivia game show, video game show game. Thank you for coming out, Mitchell. Enjoy your Abraxo cleanser and be sure to clean off all those rad roaches, buddy.
You've got to stop playing Fallout.
No, that is not happening anytime soon. But what is happening sometime soon is that we are going to be having some future streams on. Dude, we've come to the end of our show. What are we going to be doing for the remainder of the week?
Well, probably tomorrow Rocket League, and then Friday or Saturday getting back into Hyrule.
There you go.
Doing that there, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like I said earlier, I'm having a fantastic time doing that. Actually, you know what? Friday, we may get the Llama Squad Jack Around community night back. We may get a little bit of Among Us going. Mostly so I can get Sean off my back. Our friend Sean, North Texas Jedi. We may do that. We may do that sometime this week. And it's been a while. Charlie, we need to get back on that community shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been jonesing to play some Among Us again. I've been playing a little bit off the cuff, just randos, just because I have a Switch with it and I have the mobile version, so it's like, let's see if I can actually get into a game nowadays.
Sure.
But I will be continuing back on my quest. I'm at the fort with Kellogg in Fallout 4, so we're going to be opening up something completely awesome. It's probably going to take up the entire episode, but
can't wait. Can't wait to see. Oh man, I can't. I'm actually super excited for this next episode of yours.
I am super stoked too, man, and that is the end of our show, brother. I hope you had a good
Hell yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's a fun show.
It was a good one today. And
it.
Anyway, guys, this is the MC Gamescast for Team Llama Squad. I am Charizard81. See you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.